In this episode of the Rise Movement podcast, we talk all about how to overcome setbacks, obstacles, and roadblocks that are in your way.
Welcome to the Rise Movement podcast, a place where legends just like you learn how to raise your standards everywhere.
Welcome to another episode of the Rise Movement podcast. I'm Dave, and in this audio-only episode of the Rise Movement podcast, like I said at the start, we are talking all about how to overcome roadblocks and obstacles and setbacks and all these sorts of things that get you down. So, at the moment, we've got some really frustrating things happening when it comes to social media. On my main TikTok account that's got almost 10,000 followers, I was getting on average 10,000 views per video. I had a couple of videos blow up into, the 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, and had heaps and heaps of interactions. There's like 130,000 likes on the account. There's thousands and thousands of comments. I was getting on average 50 DMs a week with men and women that were doing it tough, that wanted a bit of help, that I could give resources to and point them in the right direction when it came to their mental health or with their just overall nutrition, training, and so on and so forth. That got stopped. And the reason why I got stopped was I was doing a TikTok live a few weeks ago. I was going for a walk and, we were doing a bit of Q&A with the people that were joining me. Had about 300 people on the stream, loads of questions, loads of interaction. All of a sudden, this little douchebag jumps on and starts talking some wild racist shit in the comments. And I'm not one to tolerate that kind of crap. I'm going to call that out straight away. That's just completely unacceptable. I don't care if you're trolling. I don't care if you're a dick. I don't care what's going on. Racism and bigotry it's just flat out not right. So I called him out in front of the whole stream. This kid would have been 15 years old, God knows. But anyway, all of a sudden, I received this notification that said this TikTok live has been reported as it breaches community guidelines for bullying and harassment, all because I called out this little shit for being a racist. From there, I get a notification saying that the live reach will be throttled basically, and then all of my content started getting reported. All of the comments that I had replying back to people, and you guys know, I'm very straightforward. I'm as straight as an arrow, and I don't beat around the bush. I tell it how it is. I'm extremely straightforward, and so a lot of that can be taken as harassment and stuff like that, just because I don't tolerate shit. And all of a sudden, all my comments started getting reported. They start getting reported for bullying and harassment and these sorts of things. So once I noticed all of the things were starting to get reported, I actually got a strike against my account. And with TikTok that it's 3 strikes and you're out. All because of this little douche. I now have to overcome all these obstacles to be able to pivot and find a different way of reaching people. So today I made the decision that instead of just, putting out content, trying to be consistent on that profile, on the Dave Rise Movement profile on TikTok, I've switched over to the business TikTok, which only has 70 followers. It's only got, barely got, a couple of hundred likes sort of thing, but it is what it is. So I have to pivot. And that's the biggest thing that I want you guys to do. Whenever you're faced with a roadblock, an obstacle, anything that's in your way, you've got a few different choices. You can choose to barrage yourself through it and just beat it through, or go over it, around it, under it, figure out some kind of way of making sure that you can actually continue moving forward on the path. In my circumstance here, this is a stupid problem to have. This is one of the things about having an online-based business where you're going to face people that they're essentially going to pull you down because you're doing better than them. Because what's that old quote? Never seen a hater doing better than me. And that's true. I put out so much content. I help so many people for free. I put out resources and tools and tips. And if you haven't checked out the new website yet, check down in the description to be able to see a link to the website. We've got training plans, meditations, hypnosis. We've got a whole bunch of testimonials from my amazing clients over the last 13 years. And it's a place to be able to venture back to from time to time to be able to get something new, get something that's going to help you move forward, whether it's nutrition, training, mindset, hypnosis, whatever it is. I've got a one-stop shop for you to be able to get whatever you can get to be able to help yourself. If you see on the home page, there's a button about 3/4 of the way down the page. It says buy me a coffee. If you can't afford to come on board as a coaching client or do any of my programs or anything like that in the R.Y.S.E movement, and you feel like you want to give back a little bit, click the link down there, buy me a coffee. It can be however much you want to be able to donate to me. And I appreciate every little bit that I get given to me, sorry. So when it comes to overcoming obstacles, make sure that you're creating contingency plans to be able to continue momentum moving forward. You might have to pivot. You might have to restructure something. Like what I'm doing at the moment, I'm figuring out that I don't want to be able working as much as I am in terms of a one-to-one capacity, because I want to start making room to be able to hold more space for one-to-many. So more group stuff, and next year what I'm going to be getting into is holding workshops, holding places where I'm actually going to be talking through things and giving you guys more of like an in-person program where we can nut it out in like a 6-hour workshop or something like that. And I want to be able to do this Australia-wide, because like I said ages ago in one of the podcasts at the start, like this will become a worldwide movement. I don't care how small it is right now, because I'm doing damn good work. We're doing amazing things with the R.Y.S.E movement. Raising your standards everywhere is starting to gain traction. It's starting to gain a life of its own. And it's through you guys that this movement is going to help billions worldwide. And I know that's a fucking fact. I know that the more that we invest in now, the more that we put effort into, we're going to be able to go through all of the roadblocks together, and we're going to come out the other side successfully. I see a vision of the future where I've got a team of at least 100 different coaches and trainers underneath me, whether it's running personal training, whether it's running workshops like I do, writing content, creating videos, doing podcast episodes themselves. So if this is something that you're interested in, if you're a coach or you're a PT, or you're a massage therapist or something like that, and you love what the R.Y.S.E movement's about raising your standards everywhere, email me, dave@ryesemovement.com.au, and tell me that you're interested in becoming a trainer and a coach in the future. It's not going to happen just yet. I've got to start scaling the business. I've got to start actually turning the business into something that is profitable, not just something that I'm consistently injecting cash into. So, getting back to you guys. When it comes to raising your standards everywhere, finding out what your obstacles are, remember the great Albert Einstein quote, "You can't solve a problem from the same level of mind that created it." What that means is you need solutions thinking. What that means is you need to be able to zoom out. You need to be able to become the observer, so that you are not in the thick of it. You're not in the trees. You can see the forest from the trees. You zoom out to be able to get a different perspective on things. Because when you're in the problem and all you're focused on is the obstacles and the problems, that's all you can see. You're essentially, 2 inches away from the problem. You're intimately aware with all of the aspects of the problem. You need to be able to zoom out, and you've got the blinders on. You can't be able to see left to right. You can't see laterally. You can't pivot laterally. You can't move. You're so stuck when you're focused on the problem. So be able to zoom out a little bit, get a different perspective, and see what's another way I can look at this. I've said this before on the podcast. One of my favorite exercises that I do with my clients is I write whatever their problem is on a piece of paper, or I get my client to write it on a piece of paper, and I literally get them to stand up from where we're sitting in my office and move around my office and have a different perspective and see what they can see another objective, see another part of the problem from this higher level of thinking, from literally standing up in a different part of the room. And all of a sudden you will notice that there's different things that come to mind, because you're not fixated on what's wrong. You're fixated on what could go right. And that's one of the biggest things that you can do. It's one of the best things you can do for any kind of problem that you face with in your life. It doesn't matter if it's in your health and fitness. It doesn't matter if it's with your finances, in your relationships, with business, with getting a new job, with upskilling, with anything. Everything in your life, wherever you're faced with an obstacle and a roadblock, zoom out, find another perspective on it, and you can overcome absolutely anything. Remember, doing the R.Y.S.E movement to be able to raise your standards everywhere allows you to be able to experience anything that you want, allows you to do anything that you want. Remember my favorite saying, you can do, be, have, and experience anything if you're willing to raise your standards everywhere. And that's where we're going to leave it today. And beautifully, as I'm recording this right now, it's 12:12. Nice little synchronicity from the universe there, saying a nice little nod that you're on the right path. And you guys are all on the right path as long as you are aligned to the standards and the values of the R.Y.S.E movement. Have an amazing weekend, everyone, as I'm recording this on a Saturday. Much love, take care, and I'll see you next week. We'll use this time as a little bit of a PS, guys. This is post-podcast Dave. coming back to you guys because I forgot to put in all of the plugs about links and stuff like that. Jump down into the description. You'll be able to see a link towards the new website that we've created. There's a bunch of free resources on there. Like I said, training plans, nutrition, mindset sort of stuff, ebooks that I've written, hypnosis tracks, meditation tracks, so on and so forth. Also, have a look at the link below that. That's going to be the Etsy store. That's where you can grab all of the Rise Movement apparel. You can get t-shirts, cut-off singlets, hats, all that good kind of stuff. All of the proceeds that go into anything that's apparel based keeps this business afloat and helps us to be able to help other people that can't afford it. So I would really appreciate it if you guys would be able to purchase something, just knowing that that's going to go to an absolutely amazing place in helping someone else raise their standards everywhere. Also, you'll see a link to the new website. The website has just been finished and I'm really happy with it. Did it all myself thanks to the power of Ritalin and a bit of caffeine post-diagnosis for ADHD. Got to hyperfixate on that bad boy and get it finished. Make sure you check us out on all socials. Make sure you check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all of the great places for your podcast listening. And guys, please, any likes, comments, shares on any of the content that I create is going to help us boost in the algorithm, help make this thing go worldwide, help as many people as possible raise your standards everywhere. And as always, guys, follow me to rise higher.
Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for subscribing and leaving a review. It really helps us out. Until next time, take care and much love.